Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. We are here to talk about all things BCLA. What is BCLA? It is Basketball Champions League Americas. It is the top 12 teams in Pan America, and you've got a premier Pan American tournament featuring the Edmonton Stingers. Why are they in it? Because they are the champions of the CEBL. Joining me to talk about it is former Team Canada star, someone who has played in the Basketball Champions League over in Europe, and now is also GM of the Ottawa Blackjacks. Jevohn Shepherd, how are you doing?
Man, I'm having fun. As long as I'm back here with you, V, so I'm good.
Always a good time. Now, looking at this opportunity for the Edmonton Stingers, what can it do in terms of exposure for the CEBL as a whole?
It becomes a global league now. You know, when you think about it, this team is now representing, themselves, the league, and essentially the country. So I think that's huge for the exposure that they're going to get. And now, you're getting that notoriety from opposing teams, opposing coaches, opposing GMs. And you think about what it does even for the players that are going to be on the team is that now they get to showcase their talents when they go out and compete. So I think, something like this is tremendous for the game here in Canada, for the CEBL on the whole, because it puts you on a whole different platform, a whole different landscape, so to say, and then it provides a lot more opportunities for the players that are going to be in it, opposing and for the current team.
In terms of those watching these games, what can people expect in terms of the competition level?
It's going to be fast-paced, V. When you play in the Americas, it's a game, it's a style of play where you're going to get athletes. You're going to get guys that can really score the basketball, and the scores are going to be high, right? Team scores are going to be high. So a number of guys that can really get up and down. And there's a mix because you have, generally you have guys that are at the tail end of their career, and they're just, playing it out. And then you have some young guys that are really trying to start their career and get their feet wet. So it's an interesting mix.
You've got pretty much the Avengers assembling for this Edmonton Stingers in terms of coaching staff. Obviously, you got Jermaine Small, who's going to be the head coach. He's going to have some help from Victor Razzo. And then rounding out the coaching staff, you're going to have Roy Rana taking a break from the Sacramento Kings. He's stepping in as well and joining Charles Dubray as well. What does that mean for this team?
It's huge, right? Because for the team, you get to pool all those great minds together. And it's different perspectives, right? You have Jermaine Small, who has, the experience of winning the back-to-back championships in the CEBL, his youth sport experience. Roy Rana, who's coached all across the globe, whether it be at the Hoop Summit this past summer in the Olympics, his time in the NBA. Charles Dubray, who has some NBA G League experience. It's essentially an extension of our national team at this level. And I think that's huge because you're getting the perspective, and then you're getting the talent, and that's going to leave a stamp in the minds of all the other players that you're going to be competing against, is the other teams, the GMs. And now you take this league serious, you take the players serious, so it sends a big message.
Two of the standout names I'm looking at on that roster, obviously, Junior Cadogan, you know him very well. Adika Peter McNeely, he won the Sixth Man of the Year award for the 2021 CEBL season. What can people expect from those two?
Junior's going to be a dog, man. Like, he's a guy you can't measure. Anything he does is not going to be measured on stats. But his heart is invaluable, and it's infectious, it's contagious to his team. And I think that's the biggest thing for him, man. Since his days in high school in Eastern Commerce to his time at Marquette, he's a guy that steps up, and even for Ottawa this past summer, he hits big shots. And then where Adika is concerned, he's one of those utility guys that does a bit of everything on the court, can extend the floor, going to penetrate, he's going to play defense, and he has switchability on the perimeter. And I think when you're looking at the roster, it's so well-rounded, and we're talking about the training camp roster at this point. We don't even know who's going to be on the team, right? So that's a lot of talent there. And then you have, NBA veteran Josh Boone, who I'm sure a lot of people are excited about as well. That Coach Smalls and GM Smalls has done a good job of really constructing this team. And I like to see how it's going to pull out.
Hey, diehard Raptors fans will remember that Josh Boone name from those Raptors-Nets games. Now, let's look at the competition. The Edmonton Stingers are going to be in Group A with Esteli, champions from the Nicaraguan League. They're also going to be with Cangrejeros, champions from Puerto Rico. Another familiar name there with JJ Barea. In terms of experiencing that type of environment, these games are being played in Nicaragua. That first game, obviously, you're playing against the Nicaraguan champions. How intimidating is that going to be?
Okay, so I'll tell you this, and I mentioned it earlier, these teams are now representing their countries, their islands, wherever they're from. And I remember myself specifically playing in Champions League, and this was Champions League, Basketball Champions League of Europe, and it was Chalon. I was playing for Chalon, France at the time, and we're playing a team from Turkey. I don't remember the team right now. And V, I'm telling you, before we even started the match, both sets of fans just started a brawl. They had to clear out the whole stadium. And this is before tip-off. So if you're talking about what type of atmosphere is going to be out there, I expect intense, I expect passion. And that's even before you tip the basketball out.
And Jevohn, we come back to the point about exposure. We talked about what it does for the players, but in terms of the viewership as well, you see these players, you see these coaches getting involved. It gets people watching. For
sure. And if you look at it, we never had a domestic league stand on its own foot. Now you have this domestic league competing, in international competition. So it's never been done, right? And you talk about the exposure it's going to give to the players. Now you have former NBA players that are involved. Think about the teams that you're going to compete against. Now you have JJ Barea. He knows more about the CEBL. He knows more about the leagues here. A guy like Michael Beasley who could potentially play in the tournament as well. So think about the domino effect it's going to have for raising and elevating the level of play in the CEBL, raising the level of play in Canada, and just continuing to develop it.
Hey, I can't wait. And remember, you can catch the games on CBC. And Jevohn, thank you so much for doing this.
Appreciate you.
Jevohn, if you like Canadian basketball content like this, what do you need to do?
Subscribe to CBC Sports Like This.